Let's talk about the Tyson fight first because that was interesting.
Interesting is one way of putting it. Yeah.
You think that was rigged?
I have a hard time believing it was. I think everybody is going to think it. I mean, I saw something that Ed Lattimore tweeted, who I know, has been on the show before, and I know you've met him, and former heavyweight professional boxer, 10-1 record, and then he retired after his loss. But I liked his take a lot. His thing was, if this thing's rigged, I find it really, really hard to believe because it was a sanctioned bout and you could bet on it in like 33 states. So that level of conspiracy or powers be is pretty much impossible. Now, is there something that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson worked out between the two of them? Who really knows? I've seen some things about that
Jake
as
Paul
well,
got
where
paid
it's like
twice as much as Tyson. He got 40 million. Tyson
40
got
million
20.
versus 20. Yeah. And so, and then there's rumors all swirling that it's like Mike Tyson made more money the longer he lasted or how many rounds he went or something like that. But yeah, I don't think it was a fix or that it was something that was rigged. I mean, I think I'm kind of fed up with like the dog and pony act that is Jake Paul. It's like, look, man, if you're just going to make money and you want to fight washed up athletes and boxers that are, over 50 or former MMA fighters, he fights bums. And the only boxer he fought that's a legit boxer, and he's not even a good boxer, he's a part-time boxer, part-time like reality TV star, is Tommy Fury, and he lost via decision.
He lost to Fury.
Yeah, he lost to Tommy Fury, but Tommy Fury's not a good boxer. I mean, he's not.
He's Tyson Fury's brother, right?
Yeah, but I mean, that's the only thing they have in common is their last name. Their skills are not on par whatsoever. No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, you're talking about a world champion versus a guy who's like a reality show star who boxes on the side. So, look, man, if you're going to make a show of it for the money, and that's fine, do that. But to sit here and say I'm the face of boxing or this is my sport now, it's like fight somebody. He's a very average boxer. He's got all the time and the money in the world to train, and that's fine. Go through some actual real fights. But why would he? If he can pocket $40 million with these spectacles that people will still pay for, and people keep getting suckered into it. It's actually genius marketing because everybody wants to see the guy get knocked out, and he keeps picking opponents that are a little bit better than the last. Right, the first fight he was fighting a former NBA player, Nate Robinson. Who cares? Then it was Tyron Woodley, I think, former UFC champion, never that great of a fighter as far as boxing goes. He was a champion, but he was a wrestler predominantly. Well, then he fought, Nate Diaz, a guy that's knocked people out for a long time. He fought Anderson Silva, who's one of the greatest, stand-up strikers in all of UFC history. And then it's Mike Tyson. So it's kind of, now he's calling out Conor McGregor, apparently. There's a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, I've seen some of these clips, the speed and...
Yeah, this is what doesn't make sense to me, because every single one of his training videos, if you look at them, he's fast. Like he's got a lot of speed for his age. Like I did 3.5 years of boxing training. I never even came close to that shit.
Do we have timestamps on these videos though? I mean, when this would be, because he had a major operation in what, June or July?
No,
that's the reason he had
he's
to
not
pull.
wearing the knee brace in this one. So I wonder if it was earlier.
Well, and he had a major operation apparently in June. He's talked about having like 8 blood transfusions. Look how fast
he is, man.
Yeah. No, I mean,
that is
I
quick.
agree. He showed that he still had the hands and the speed in the first round. But, again, going back to Ed's comments, it was like, even he was like, I don't really know what's going to happen because the last thing to go is always.
Okay. So here's the point, right? Like somebody took his training video and then they stuck the actual fight over it in an overlay. Just watch the difference, right? Like look at him in the training. Look how quick he is. Look how precise he is. And, in the fight itself, like he's like Jake Paul staying out of range. He's not even hitting him. He's taking shots to the head. He's not doing anything, right? Like it just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I didn't see any sparring training videos of Tyson, which would be a better indicator because pad work's always different from actual sparring. Different. Like sparring is always slower. But I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I think the whole thing was a setup, to be honest with you. Like I watched the fight twice and I've seen all these highlights now. And it's like, every time I watch one of these, reels of him training, I'm like, I don't buy it, man. I think that was a bullshit setup.
I mean, it could have been, yeah. I think if anything, it was an agreement between the two fighters. I mean, I have a hard time thinking that the entire governing body and sanctioning bodies could that it just doesn't hold water for me to think that this was a rigged fight from the jump. Yeah, well, I mean, we're not talking about the Oval Office here, but
Yeah.
and that might have been it too. It might have been a gentleman's agreement. It's like, look, like I'm not going to make you look bad, Mike, and knock you out. And he's like, I'm not going to try to knock you out either. So that might have been it. But it was really, to me, like, I just felt sad for the guy. It's like, man, this is what Mike Tyson has been reduced to. He's just like this shell of a man. And, but people were also saying, like, he needed something to give him purpose again. He was always a boxer. He's always a killer. He needed to get back to that. But I think we can pause the greatest of all time arguments. Like, Mike Tyson's not the greatest boxer of all time. He's not the greatest to ever do it by any means.
Who do you think was the greatest?
Muhammad Ali by far. It doesn't even come close. I mean, Mike Tyson, for what he was doing in the 90s, let's not to take anything away from him.
But Muhammad Ali didn't knock out a whole bunch of people in the first round.
But Muhammad Ali was fighting real boxers. I mean, Muhammad Ali was fighting
Tyson
during
didn't
the
fight
golden
real
age of
boxers.
boxing. When he fought, his best competition was Lennox Lewis, and you guys ask. I mean, I'm not saying he fought bums, but what I'm saying is, like, Muhammad Ali was fighting George Foreman in his prime, Joe Frazier, Sonny Liston. I mean, pound for pound, some of the greatest boxers that have ever walked this earth. Yeah, he lost to Holyfield. So I mean, again, like, his resume, when you look at what he did, I'm not saying that he fought bums. There were some legit fighters that he fought. The way he finished guys was absolutely impressive and something that we've never seen before and we will never see again. But Tyson's not a pure boxer. Tyson's a brawler. Muhammad Ali was a boxer, the technical genius of that man. And I don't think in both of their prime, I don't think Tyson could even touch Muhammad Ali. I think he keeps him on the outside. He does the rope-a-dope. I don't think Tyson beats Muhammad Ali one time out of 10 straight fights, unless he gets,
I'll be honest, I haven't watched many of Muhammad Ali's fights. Maybe
Sugar Ray Robinson, Ray Leonard. Yeah, I mean,
I'll look him up. There was this one guy,
George Foreman fight. That's the one.
What's that?
The George Foreman fight. If you're going to watch one of them, that's the one.
You must remember Zach, because he came out to that hero's trip that we did up in Aurelia on the lake, and he was a boxing trainer.
Yeah,
I think you were there for that one, right? So he was my trainer, and we used to talk a lot about some of these like replay fights. And he gave me this link to this one guy. I can't remember the name for the life of me, but he said he used to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day, and in between some rounds, when he's going to the corner, he has a cigarette. like his coach puts a cigarette in his mouth, between rounds. And this guy was a weapon. I think he was South American. Hang on, let me see if I can find his name real quick. Smoking boxer. Let's see. You got to see this guy. Here he is, the untouchable chain smoking boxer. This guy here. Let me pull it up on the screen. You got to see this. Look this guy up with his fights. He's insane. Like, I can't believe this guy would smoke a pack a day and like beat the crap out of people.
Yeah, man. Some guys are nuts.
Remove.
They can just get by on, Zins and nicotine and cigarettes or whatever. I mean, dude, the 1986 New York Mets were, on amphetamines and they were on cocaine and they won the World Series. So there's that. Randy's calling me crazy. What am I saying that's so crazy? Like, I'm telling you guys, like, watch a Muhammad Ali fight. That dude, I mean, his head movement, what he was able to do to George Foreman, tire him out.
Look how fast he is, genius.
Man. Yeah, again, like, you can brawl all day, and you just
he's the guy in the blue shorts.
Yeah, you wouldn't touch him. He would not touch Ali.
Look at him. Just chucking him in his face. Look at him.
Nicolino Locche.
Yeah. And then if you see the like shots of him in the corner, every once in a while the trainer passes him a cigarette. They take a couple of pulls. I've never seen anything like it. It's
that's like the ultimate disrespect. He's like, I'm gonna beat your ass while I'm
gonna beat your ass.
Ripping darts. I'm gonna rip darts while I'm boxing you.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.